What's up, guys? It's Crash, and I want to talk about the Delta Force test that's going on this week, and more so the reaction to it, and even deeper than that, the surprisingly, at least to me, negative reactions that I've seen to the playtest going on right now over on Reddit and on X. People are really upset with the game, and I want to talk about that just a little bit, give my opinion on it, but definitely cover both sides of it and see where you guys stand down below in the comments, because it's really important to me what you guys think. That's one of the coolest parts to me about YouTube, is seeing kind of where the community sits on some of this stuff, and it's kind of like a polling to me to see where you guys stand on it. But basically what happened is the playtest going on right now. If you haven't played it and you have Steam and you're on PC, you can play it. Anybody can play it. Hop over to their Steam page and download the beta. But essentially kind of what happened is it came out and it's pretty much the same exact build that many of us played in the closed alpha test, and that disappointed a lot of people. And there is kind of a spectrum here. There are people who are disappointed, which I think I can kind of resonate with that a little bit more. And then there's people that went like unhinged. They're mad. They think it's a fraud, which I don't know how you could call it that when the game owes us nothing. It's been free. It's been free the whole time. It's been an open test for people to download and play. Like, you haven't paid any money on it. It's all fine. Like that's completely crazy to be that upset with it. But it did cause Delta Force to have to go over onto Twitter and kind of clarify their position. And they went on to say that the current China build is an early access version, which we are optimizing, localizing right now for global release in Q4 really soon. The Steam Next Fest version is indeed much closer to the alpha test, but we wanted to give players who weren't involved in the alpha the chance to try the most localized build available before launch. We appreciate yours and the community's feedback, and we'll continue to improve Delta Force as we approach launch. So there you have it from them. Basically, what happened is they had the closed test that not everyone got to play, and they wanted to give everyone the chance to play the alpha test, which was the most localized or the most complete stable build that they have pre-launch. And they're working on, kind of, compiling the early access version that's live over in China right now. So you can kind of see a glimpse of what's going to be into the game if you kind of go down a rabbit hole on Reddit and find people who have played the Chinese version. There are a few, and kind of tell you what's in that game, because it sounds like there's quite a few more features and a fair amount more content in the Chinese version that we can expect to see on early access. But kind of what happened here, and I think the root of all this kind of controversy, is that we had a big lead up to the Steam Next Fest test on their X, as well as, they did interviews with streamers like Pestly and Landmark talking about how the Mandel bricks are going to have like these translucent M4 skins with different color, things that are kind of procedurally generated and unique, and a player auction house, and the new extraction map Brackish, and a couple new maps for the Havoc mode, and like all these different things they've been talking about. And it could have been lost in translation, right? Because this is a Chinese studio. All their videos have been in Chinese. They have to be translated. But it wasn't clear to me that this stuff was going to be in the launch, and like in the early access launch. I thought we were going to see some of these things. It was going to be an iteration on the early access build, kind of an in-between version, because it is on the timeline in between those two versions of the alpha test and the early access version. So I thought we were going to see some of those changes. I thought we were going to see some of the new stuff, potentially new operators that they've been talking about and stuff like that. That is not the case. And you kind of see where, me as a gamer, I want to see that stuff, right? Like, and you get it built up in your head what the Steam Next Fest test was going to have. It was going to be really cool. We were going to see new maps, we're going to see new guns, we're going to see new operators and all that stuff. And that wasn't the case. So I think it's fairly natural to feel a little bit disappointment if you were like me. But for the people that take it so far to call the game a fraud when there's been no money exchanging hands, or call it a joke, or be upset with it, to say derogatory things on Reddit and stuff like that, it's crazy. Like, you should take a step back and realize how entitled you sound to have a game that's in its testing state, that is so feature complete. It's on Unreal Engine 4. It runs really well. It's well optimized. It has one of the best gun ranges that I've ever seen, like with weapon stats, like recoil patterns before and after. It's got 45 weapons or something like that you can customize with hundreds of attachments, and you can see live the stats and how they change and the recoil patterns, and like you can test ammo and weapons in the gun range. You have all these, you have an entire black site you can upgrade, a hideout, you have all the stuff, man. Like, the maps are really complete with tons of contracts. You have the Mandel brick stuff to do. The extraction mode is pretty darn fleshed out. I haven't played the Havoc Warfare mode one. If I'm giving my honest quick opinion on the Havoc Warfare one, if I want to play big team battles, I'm going to hop in Battlefield. Battlefield still does it smoother. Battlefield still does it better, in my opinion. But the extraction mode is the hidden gem in Delta Force for me. I think it's going to be huge to have a game like that to essentially replace DMZ with a better option for free on console. I could see the game getting really big, but I kind of digress. Back to what I'm saying is people got incredibly over emotional about being a little bit disappointed with this game. You guys need to relax. It's going to be out in a couple months at the latest, and we'll be able to play, you know, the kind of the Chinese version. If you look into that, there are several more maps. There's a ton of different cosmetics, and cosmetics go a little bit farther too. Some people are saying they're going to be too crazy and wild, and that is going to happen. We're going to see some pretty crazy cosmetics. In my opinion, this game is going to have to make money somehow, and microtransactions will be there. They have said that they're not going to do pay to win. They've said you're not going to be able to buy stuff in game, buy currency in game. You're going to be able to earn like playable characters and stuff in the battle pass, which there will be a battle pass. And you see all that stuff. It sounds really good on paper that this could be a game, if you wanted to, you could enjoy for free without having to go against people who are paying to win, with, you know, being able to unlock stuff that you can't afford. So it sounds like that's going to be the case. And this is a really good game. And it sounds like an incredibly benign game in the fact that if you don't play it, it's not like, if you play it and don't like it, it's not going to cost you a dime. So you can test it out for free. You can play it for free. If you really enjoy it and want to support it and you want to buy some cool cosmetics, you can help support the game and do that. If I'm going to talk about anything that could be bad when this game launches, like the negatives about this game, it's probably going to be map content, because if we do look at that Chinese version, there's only a couple more maps on each side, and that still puts us at kind of a low map count. They have said that they're going to try to do a map every couple months, as well as new seasons every 4 months, which are also going to have maps and modes. So I think that map number will get there eventually to where it needs to be. But I think especially in like respawn type conquest modes, you need to be up more closer to that, you know, Battlefield, like around 10 or 11 maps at launch would be awesome. At least like 7 to 10, you know what I'm saying, to be able to be an enjoyable experience for the Havoc Warfare mode. You don't need as many for the extraction mode, the tactical turmoil or hazard ops mode. You don't need as many for that, because those raids are incredibly dynamic with the different contracts. You're doing different missions. The Mando bricks pop up, and there's going to be all those different things you can do on the map. So those games get a little bit more dynamic, rather than holding the same positions, taking the same flanks, holding the same flags that happens in the Havoc Warfare map. And like I said, if I want that experience, I'm probably just going to play Conquest or Breakthrough or Battlefield. It's a lot smoother to me. It runs a lot better, and I feel better playing it in Battlefield. But as far as the extraction mode, I think that is really going to be a gem, a hidden gem with this game, and I think it's going to perform really well. But the people who went all the way to that, just like to being incredibly negative and saying stuff on Reddit and on X, sound ridiculous. You honestly sound ridiculous. That's taking it a little bit too far. I think it's okay to be a little bit disappointed in the alpha build, but to take it as far as to call the game a fraud or junk or trash because they didn't update it, and being a giant disappointment. I saw people saying they had several hundred hours in the alpha test, and just to see it come out like this is a big disappointment. It's like, you already got a couple hundred hours of enjoyment out of an alpha test, and you're saying a game is trash. Like that just shows where gamers are at, man, and gamers on social media especially, because I know there's probably literally thousands, even tens of thousands of people who are just having fun and enjoying it. And I know it's kind of the vocal minority that you hear, but I read some of this stuff on Reddit and on X, and it just absolutely blows my mind how entitled some people sound. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. But anyway, guys, that's kind of the story. That's kind of where we're at on this. I kind of wanted to talk to you about where I kind of sat on it. I was being like mildly disappointed because I was excited to see some of that stuff, but it really sounds like we're not going to have to wait too much longer. If you think about what's going on right now, there's already a working early access build in China that's already up and running. So to think that we're very far off, I don't think is quite the right thing. I think we will see this game pretty soon, within the next month or two for sure, because like I said, they already have an early access version that's cranking along in China with several more maps, several more weapons, new ops, and the skin system, the player auction, all that stuff is going on in there. So we should see that soon, and it's gonna be a good time. Really enjoying the extraction mode. What have you guys thought of it so far, and what do you guys kind of think of all this controversy? I'd love to know down in the comments. If you made it to the end of the video, I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it, and I'd love to see you on the next one.